Rogue Ronin, welcome to the stream. You're in class right now? Well, that's okay. That's all right with me. So I'm on a new setup now, so I have to make sure nothing's going crazy here. I think we're okay. I don't see anything like now. Oh, my chat isn't working on my screen. Or maybe it's because I started late. I'll wait till it dings again just to make sure it's working. So, we're in a different location today. We are in my kitchen because I have to use the sink. So it's gonna be a little noisier than usual. Yeah, I got my little monster playing over here. Hey, Kristen, thank you for coming. Yes, hon. You're okay. It's okay. I don't see it. You want to get a Band-Aid? Go get me a Band-Aid. Okay, well, I'll get it later, okay? Okay, go play with the Play-Doh. You're fine, babe. It's not bleeding. You're fine. See what I mean? So, it's just the time of day. Alright. There you go. Go on. You need it out? No, you can take it out. Go on. So we got Play-Doh, so hopefully that'll keep her entertained for at least a little bit. If not, I'll try and kick her upstairs or something. She's got her tablet and I got snacks on hand. But my oldest is in school, so at least we don't have her interruptions because she eats a lot too. So I get a lot of interruptions for food in this house. And my husband's still at work for a couple hours. So it's just me and her. Oh, and the dogs. You're going to hear the dogs walking around because they have super long nails. So that is my disclaimer. I probably will be interrupted. You can see my oh, you can't see her. Let me see if I can. There she is. That's Ona. Say hi, Ona. You want to say hi? Sit. Sit. No, not stretch. Sit. No. So you're gonna hear her clomping around because they both need their nails cut. There we go. So we're experimenting today. I got wax paper down. That's what this is. So that way, if I get water on my countertop, because it's like a cheap granite, it there we go. How did I have it? It will I don't want it to stain or anything, but I have my towels. I have almost all the RIT dyes because they had a big sale they have a sale at Joann's, and then I had a coupon. So I got like a really good price on all the liquid RIT dyes and all of these. So I got almost all of them. I'm missing like navy blue and emerald, so I'll have to pick those up another time, but I pretty much got a whole color scheme going on. And then I have a ton of fabrics, so there's a mixture. I got whatever was available at Michael's pretty much. So there was like 4 pieces of 14 count, 1 piece of 16. What else did I have? I think I have an 18 count, 2 18 counts, and 4 18 counts and 2 28 counts. So I already serged them yesterday. I went with my sewing machine and I serged them all so we don't have a stringy mess. It's not a big deal, but I just didn't want to deal with the string today. So hopefully the serging beforehand will help. I don't know what's going to be wet. We're just going to grab one, and I did go on Pinterest. Let me get my Pinterest. And I went and looked up ideas for like color palettes and different like color themes to work with. Let me see, where did I put them? Let's see, which one's the best one to show you? Well, we'll try this one. No, you guys are too small there. Let's try this. We'll bring you down. Sorry. All right, so I gotta go this way. Yes. So I did pick out like a bunch of different color schemes I really liked to use as ideas on which colors to go with. So we're gonna work with this. I'm really liking, you know, I found the Frozen palette, and that's such a pretty palette. So I think we'll do something with like these Frozen colors. And then I think I'm gonna do one ice dye because the ice dyeing takes a while for the ice to melt. So I think I decided on doing, where is it? This one. And I'm doing more of like the idea of this. So we'll see how that ice dye comes out, because the colors on ice dyeing really get intense compared to like pouring on the water and the liquid and stuff. So this will be my ice dye. And we'll do that one first because, like I said, the ice takes forever to dry, and I got about 2 hours to spend with you guys today. So yeah, so that's the idea that we're gonna go with. I don't know if I'm gonna use all these colors, but I will definitely use the yellow and an orange, and then probably the blue and the light blue. I don't know, maybe I will use all the colors, like a little bit, but these ones are gonna be the powders. So they're gonna be the little powder dyes. They're not gonna be the liquid. So the powder definitely works better when you're ice dyeing. Looking forward to seeing the results, right? I hope. I did 2 pieces ice dyed already, like beforehand. If you've seen my flash tubes, you've seen those pieces for my Medusa and the green piece that I was trying to use for Medusa, but it was too much. So I have done a couple ice dyeing so far, and I'm thinking less is more. So we're just gonna put a tiny bit of color on there, and hopefully I get this like sort of spotted colored look. So we'll start with that, and then we can move on from there and do the other stuff. So let me put you guys back up. I'm gonna need to see stuff. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy. All right, so for my ice dyeing, I have just one of those trays that you buy, the disposable ones. It's just a lid. And then this is just a cheap little cooling rack. And keep in mind, whatever you're using to dye, go play with the Play-Doh. Keep in mind, anything that you're using to dye, don't use it to cook your food with. That's not a good idea, because it's got the residual chemicals and stuff on there. So we don't want to eat off of that. So everything I have is like disposable, and these worked actually really well. Or I have it for just this, for just dye. So we have this. Let's see. We're gonna go with, I think I'm gonna do a 28 count for this one. Sorry, I'm still really nasally and like congested from that virus that we caught, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. So that's why I sound really congested still. So I'm just gonna get this wet first. And nothing special, I'm just soaking it up pretty much, so that we have some maneuverability. I don't know if it really helps, if it matters if it's dry or not either way, but I always see, like all the video tutorials I've seen on ice dyeing, they all wet it first, so that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so gonna wring it out. Make sure there's not too much leftover water. And then we're gonna shape this so that we get our little pokes colors coming through. So we want one layer, so you don't want to wrap it like this, like underneath. You want to keep it all in one like even layer. And we're just gonna bring it in. So I'm gonna do this as much as I can here. Doesn't gotta be perfect. I think that's the key to dyeing anything, is you don't want to be perfect unless you're doing a very specific like stripe design or something. All right, so that looks good. So now that we have that, let me pick my colors before I throw ice on it and then I'm like, oh shoot, I don't know what I'm doing. I'll stick that there. Okay, so like I said, I don't have all of the box colors. I think I'm missing quite a few of these. But I got a lot of them. So we're gonna do like a red, so maybe like this wine color. Oh, I don't have an orange. Well, we have yellow. We have a teal. I think that'll work. We have, should we do royal blue or denim blue? I think royal blue. And purple. Yeah, that looks about like all the colors that's in this picture. These are greens, we don't want greens. I don't want a pink. Oh, I have a navy blue. No, we'll do the royal blue. We'll do the royal blue. Okay, so these are the colors we're gonna work with. Let me get some scissors, because I think some of these are new. This one's a new one. Yeah, that one's a new one. This one's open, so I'll stick that there so I don't knock it. That one's new. New. And new. Okay. Cool. So we have that. We got some spoons to sprinkle that on. And I guess we'll put the ice now. So we should be good to go with the ice. Royal blue is your favorite? Well, let's see how it looks. Hopefully it doesn't overwhelm the other colors. I think, like I said, less is more. And I think with those greens, the yellows didn't come out because I put too much green. So hopefully the royal blue doesn't overpower it too much. All right, so I got my ice. And we're just gonna stick them right on top and make a layer of ice. Eventually, since the fabric is wet, the ice will stick to the fabric. So if you think like, oh, it's gonna fall off, they kind of actually stay on there pretty well. It's only like on the sides sometimes they fall off, but for the most part, they'll stick to the fabric. Kind of like, what's that movie where the kid goes to lick the frozen pole and gets stuck? I'm sure there's cartoons like that. There's a cartoon. I don't remember the cartoon though. But it's kind of like that. Alright, so I got a layer here. A couple more. Just to be extra. So I think the ice and how it melts, I think that's what helps the dyes seep through to the bottom. So if you're like, oh, like if I just sprinkle on top, how am I gonna get it dyed to the bottom? It actually kind of works. It somehow like melts through the fabric, and everything most of the time that I've seen has gotten dye on it. All right, we got one more right here. All right, so we got our mound of ice. that we can add our colors. So, looking at my picture here, I think I'm going to do the light colors first and work into the darker colors. I think that's how this one's going to go. So we'll see. So we'll start with the yellow. And we're going to concentrate this more towards the middle. So it's got like a little there. Like I said, I'm going to try and do less is more on this. Okay, so we got yellow. Then we're going to go with, ooh, should I do teal or wine? Probably the teal would be more of a lighter color. All right. Like I said, this is all experimentation, so we're just gonna see what happens. I'm gonna put it right next to the yellows like this. Okay. There's a little bit out here. All right, we're going with that. So we got teal. And then let's do the wine. Yeah, because there's only a little bit of red in here. So I'm just going to do a tiny bit. Oh, I also have a cuckoo clock. So if you hear that go off in about 30 minutes, that's what it is. Like I said, we're in a public space right now, so. All right, so I just put a little there. Like I said, I just don't want too much. Okay. That was wine. And then we have purple, which it doesn't look like there's a lot of purple. It looks like there's more of the blue than anything else. So same thing, I think I'll just sporadically put a little bit of purple, and then the rest of the spots that I see, we'll do the royal blue. Oh, I really should be using gloves with this, but I think we're okay right now. It's the dry stuff. I think once I move to liquid, I'll make sure I have my gloves on. What color was this? Purple. Let me do a little bit there. It looks really cool so far. Okay. So we got purples. And then we'll do the rest with the blue. And then we'll let it sit for all the ice to melt. All right, so let me get that in there. So I'm gonna do bigger clumps of the blue wherever I see a spot here. That's left. How does that look? Looks good. A little bit more there. All right. See, this is the part where I start to get carried away usually, so I'm just gonna stop here. If it has a few white spots, then we're all good. It's okay. It's okay. But at least we'll know, like, I didn't get too crazy on it, and like I said, the blue takes over everything. So we're just gonna let this sit and melt, basically. So I'm gonna stick it to the side somewhere. I think I'll stick it over here, and then we'll check back on it after I finish the next piece, I guess. Oh, let me fix this ice cube. There we go. So we'll check back on this and see what happens. All right. So that was the ice dyed piece. And then we can do the liquid dye. So for liquid, so my first idea before starting, when I thought about doing a fabric dyeing stream, was to do like an aerial piece. So like the greens, the purples, and then spots of red. So I think that's gonna be my next one, because that's the one that first hit me in my head. So we'll do that one first. Let's do it on, should we do it on a 14 count? I have a 16 count, one 16 count, and then I have 4 18 counts. Maybe we'll do it in an 18 count. Let's try an 18 count. So all of this fabric is Aida for the most part, and then like I said, I just have the two 28 counts Monaco. They're Monaco, but it's an even weave. So I'm assuming they're all gonna dye very similar. The pieces that I have dyed in these exact counts and stuff, the colors came out really nice. So that's why I just decided to go with this, because I know once you get to like linen and like Harbinger, I'm not even gonna try. I don't know. I haven't tried those yet, so I don't know how the colors come out on those. I had a mystery fabric from 123 Stitch, and that one didn't take the color very well. And that one is the one I'm using for the Cryptid Sal. So it came out neutral, which is what I needed, but it didn't have any of the modeling that I was trying to get. So, but I don't know what kind of fabric that was. I know it's like a 20 count, but I don't know what it was. So I have no idea. But these are all, like I said, cotton based, so they pick up color really well. Hi, Kiddo Stella. Thank you for coming. I really wanted to do this because when I go looking for like people who are dyeing their fabrics for projects, there's very few. And so like there's certain techniques I want to learn, but like you don't have any videos on that. They're just very basic. So I figure I might as well experiment with everybody, and then you can kind of see what I do. So if you want to do your own, it's a little easier to be like, oh, well, she added this and this, and it kind of gave me the look I wanted. So yes, 14 or 18. Yeah, we'll try the 18 count. I have a bunch of 18. Yes, I like 18 count and I like 28, but I know a lot of people use 14. So like I was saying on my social media, if these pieces come out real nice, then I will save them for my Etsy store that I'm trying to open soon, just because I gotta save some money up for some trips we want to take. So so I just bought a bunch of counts that I think people use a lot of. Me too, I've never done it before. I am also nervous about dyeing my own fabric. It is a little nerve-wracking at first, but I guess that's why I'm doing it, so that way you have an idea of what I'm doing, and then you can kind of apply that to your own. I mean, it's never going to come out the same either way, but at least if you like the certain marbling I get or something like that, you have a video to like reference to. You're totally right. Thank you for so much. No problem. Interesting. I have a friend who dyes yarn, but I've never tried anything like this. You know what? I think yarn, it's similar, but I think it's a little different of a process. I don't know. I've never seen anyone dye yarn, but I haven't looked either. I've just looked at cross-stitch fabrics. But I think they're similar, but I think they could be different because of the different fibers. When will the Etsy store go live? I'm hoping maybe in a week or two. I gotta make a bunch of project bags. my extra large project bags for like Hades and stuff. And then if, like I said, if these 11 pieces come out real nice, I'll have these up there. And I'm working on some needle minders that are like decoed in, which is like a Japanese style of phone case, which is like looks like it's got cake icing, and then it's got little charms all over it. So I'm making little needle minders, but that's taking a little more experimentation. So hopefully in the next couple weeks, yeah, I'm trying to get stuff together so I don't just have like 1 or 2 things in there and then they disappear. But if you follow me on my social medias, I'll be posting it up there as soon as it's about ready to go. So, all right, so let's try this Ariel one. So we're gonna use the liquid dyes for this one. So Ariel, so let's go to the RIT dye site. And the RIT dye site is pretty cool. Here it is. It's got all the color formulas on there. So if you're looking for a specific color, I'll bring you down so you can see what it looks like. You can like look on here and find a color that find the center here, that you're looking for. And then when you click on one that you like, if you go down, it'll tell you what colors to mix together and kind of the amounts to get that color. The only thing is that when I have tried this with these amounts, I didn't get the right color. So I have a technique that I'm gonna show to hopefully get a better idea of what color I'm making. And I'll show you guys that right now in a second. Oh, will the Hade bags fit an 11 by 17 any chance? And are the bags quilted? The bags aren't quilted because I haven't done quilting, but they are very large. They're 18 by 14. So it should fit an 11 by 17. Like I fit everything in those bags. I fit my Q-snap, my project, my things of floss. I can fit my pattern, and there's like tons of room in there. My grime guard, you can stick scissors in there. It's like a big bag. So I got a lot of suggestions to make those specifically just because people always find the normal size bags, but nobody really finds the really big ones. There's only like a few people that sell like really, really big ones. So I use them for my Celestine, which is a Hade, and then Persephone, which is a Hade. And both bags, like everything fits in there. So they're just perfect, like big old tote things. What's wrong, hon? You want a snack? Here. Go sit down. You're welcome, baby. So the red dye set. So we're gonna go with, we need a green. So we're gonna start with a green. So you can go and select greens. Make sure you guys can see me here. There we go. So Ariel's got like a muted green. I want to say like this green right here. So what do we need for this green? Green with envy, that's what it's called. So we need teal, Kelly green, and aquamarine. So I have aquamarine, teal, and Kelly green. Here it is, Kelly green. All right, so it looks like the one with the most is the teal. So teal has a lot, and then it's the Kelly green and the aquamarine. So we're gonna try that and try and make this sort of, it doesn't look right on the camera here. It's very, it's much brighter of a green than it's showing here. Yeah. I don't have the best lighting in the kitchen, so. All right, so I have my cup. You know what? I meant to boil a whole pot of hot water and I totally forgot. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some in the microwave. Now this depends how much water you need. I was doing about 3.5 cups of water and then adding my dye. Let me put this in real quick. But you definitely want hot water. Let me put some water on to boil so we're not microwaving every couple minutes. So I'm gonna start with 3.5, but I don't think I'm gonna use all that water, but we'll see. So I have little mixing cups. I got these at H-E-B for like $2 and it came with a set of like 4. So I'm just gonna use these. These are nice because I can rinse them out and then I can always use them for this, for dyeing or whatever. Because like I said, you don't wanna use anything that you're gonna eat with. So I'm gonna let that boil. Yeah, so I'm hoping these are better than like using plastic cups and throwing away plastic cups. So I'm just trying to be considerate with the environment. So let's wash this fabric, because same thing, you want to get this one wet. So we're just gonna, just regular water, get it wet. And then, well, I'll need a container. Yeah, 3 minutes for 3.5 cups of water makes a pretty good temp of water. So you want it hot, but you don't want it to like burn you if you touch it. But you do want it pretty warm. Oh no, there was color on here. It's okay. They're like barely visible, but we're using darker colors, so hopefully you won't see that. You can a little later, okay? You have to go upstairs and wash your hands. I don't have the stool down here. Alright, so this one, I think we'll use this tray. So same thing, I just bought these for this activity. Let me, oh, I gotta move this. Yeah, you can go wash your hands upstairs. Alright, so same idea. I don't know what to tell you, hun. You're seriously gonna make me wash your hands right now? Go in, go play. I thought you were playing with Play-Doh. Alright, come here. 2 seconds, come on. Wash, wash. Here. Alright. There you go. Dry your hands. Okay, so yeah, that's perfect. So yeah, there was a little color that got there, but that's okay. No, not right now, babe. Go play. You leave me alone every other day. Okay, so same thing like the ice dyeing. I just kind of bunched it up. We'll see if we get some modeling on it. I might have to use a smaller container, but we'll see. I think this will be all right. You have to go get a Band-Aid from upstairs, hun. The TV's on, you can go watch TV. All right. I'm telling you. The one day. Yes. There's nothing upstairs. You're fine. There's no monsters. Take Ona with you. All right. So we have that bunched in there. That's good to go. Let's start with, I don't need a lot. So I'm going to do half a cup of this because I don't want a lot. Like I said, I think less is more when it comes to this. Oh, there's something in there. So I'm going to try not to go crazy on the colors. Because I think what I was doing that I wasn't getting marbling is that I was soaking it in all of the water instead of, who did I see? I just saw a video and she did really good dyeing techniques, but she said not to puddle it up on the bottom. You just want it to soak the fabric. So that's what I'm going for. So that's why I don't want to make too much dye, so I'm not like wasting too. All right, so we're gonna start with the teal. All right, this will be my little trash cup. All right, so we're gonna start with a small amount first of each color, and then I'll go in and add more until I get the color that I want. Actually, we're gonna need that. So let's start with, what is this? 1/4 of a teaspoon? And like I said, I only have half a cup. I wanna say this is of course it doesn't say, but it's your average size. I wanna say it's 8 ounces, so probably 4 ounces of water in there. Oh, I gotta shake it, huh? You don't have a boo-boo? All right. Oh my gosh, give me a minute. Give me a minute and then I'll go get your Band-Aid, okay? Okay. Yeah, I know. Life is hard. All right, so we're gonna start with that. We're gonna do a teaspoon of the Kelly, or the same 1/4 of a teaspoon of the Kelly green. You're so dramatic today. Give me a minute. You guys can't see her, but she's laying on the couch like she's dying. I didn't shake it again, did I? Let me do the both of these before I forget. Okay. So same thing with this one. Okay, and then with the aquamarine, all right, so we're gonna make this together and then we're gonna see what color we have so far. And then from there we can add. So you can always add, you can't take away. Just like in sewing, you can always cut more, you can't cut less. Let me get, well, I got a spoon here. I can use, this one's clean. All right, so we're gonna mix this up and see what color we have. And the way you can do that is by testing it on like a plate that's white, or right here on this paper towel is perfect too. And this is how I got that peach color that I wanted from my new normal, is that I did this technique where I checked the color and then I added until I had the color I wanted. Because the first time it was orange and I was like, ooh, that doesn't look like it. Maybe it'll be fine. It wasn't fine, so. Okay, so let's see what color this is. So it's kind of like it's more teal. You can see the green in there. So we're definitely gonna add some more. Yeah, it was more of the teal and then the Kelly green. It's almost there though. That's pretty good. So we're gonna add some more of the teal. I'm only gonna add half of this little teaspoon, and same thing with the Kelly green. We just want to darken it up because that's like a light color of what Ariel is. We'll do a little more. That barely was anything. There we go. And from what I've read, the liquid dyes are more concentrated than the powder dyes. So you really don't have to use a lot. Like a little bit goes a long way when it comes to the liquids, from what I understand. And same thing with the Kelly green. All right, so let's mix this up and see if we have the color we want. Like I said, we just want it, that's the color, we just need it a little bit darker. All right, so let's see what we have. Yeah, see how much darker that got? I want to say a tiny bit darker. Let's go a tiny bit more. That's really good though. So this is the technique that I'm pretty much going to be using the whole time. So a little more of the teal. And a little bit more of the Kelly green. Just a tiny bit of the Kelly green. I don't think we need too much green now. But I definitely want a little bit more in there. Okay. So let's try this out. And I think we should be good with this color. All right, let's see what we have now. Oh yeah. So you see the difference? It's not the right color on the camera. The camera's not picking it up at all. What about this one? There, you can see it on this camera a lot better. So it's definitely, that's perfect right there. So we're gonna use that one. All right, thank you for coming. Oh wait, no, you didn't say goodbye. You said gotta love them. Oh my gosh, I know. I know. These kids, man. All right, so the next color we're gonna need, yeah, that's almost it. Mine's probably just a little more green, but I like it. I like that color. Okay, so we have green, we need a purple. Purples. And I'm gonna go with, I saw one yesterday. She's got like a muted gray kind of purple. And there's no rhyme or reason to this. I'm just kind of going through and finding the color that looks closest. Like this one, Purple Envy. This one takes purple and hyacinth. So we have purple and hyacinth. So there's a lot more purple and a little bit of hyacinth. So this one's gonna have the most. So same thing, I'll take my next cup here. I'm gonna do half a cup of hot water. Mix this up. And then what did I say? Oh, we were gonna do a red for her hair. So we have the whole Ariel theme going on. All right, so we're gonna start, same thing with a 1/4 of a teaspoon of this one. Ooh, yeah, that's pigmented. I think we'll just do half of this teaspoon for the other one, because that's what it kind of looked like on the recipe on there. Okay, so let's do half a teaspoon of this one. Oops. Not too much. There we go. All right, so let's mix this up and see what we have. Need another spoon. Okay. paper towel. And this is what we have here. Yeah, that works. That works. That's the color. Okay, so we got purple, and then last we need a red for her hair. Oh, let's go back to the top. So we're gonna go to reds, and she's got this color, passport red. So we need scarlet and neon yellow. Scarlet, neon yellow. That's lemon yellow, neon yellow, and scarlet, cherry red. Oh my gosh, where's my scarlet? It's right in front of me. Go figure. All right, so this will be the last color, and then we can pour it onto our fabrics. And that water should be good for us to use in a minute. Okay, so that one's already open. What was it? I didn't even see the amounts. So more scarlet. It looks like equal parts of each. So we'll do 1 teaspoon of each one. Oh, there's the cuckoo clock. It's a little early. I gotta fix the settings. Sometimes when I move the pendulums, they change the time doesn't catch up. All right, so half a cup of hot water, just like before, and then 1 teaspoon of each. Let's do the scarlet first. Ooh, this is thick. That's a thick one. And then 1 teaspoon of the yellow. All right. That's red. And that's yellow. And I believe this one had yellow on it, so I can use this. All right. So hopefully this is the last color we need. And then we can go to dyeing. All right. Let's see what we have. Oh yeah. Let me add a little more. Yeah, because it's a little light. So let me just add a touch more of each, just to darken it up just a tiny bit. I'm just gonna do a tiny bit. And then we should be good to go. Perfect. Yeah, it did darken up just a touch. Just a tiny bit, it did. There's the second one. All right, so we have our colors. And I'm gonna use the spoons that I have in here. So, I see you. So I'm gonna add just a little bit of the red because I don't want too much. So remember, we're just gonna add a little bit. We don't want to puddle it up on the bottom. Let me put a little more over. And then we're going to do equal of this, of the purple and the green. Oh yeah, that's really pretty. I want to say I could have gone a little darker, but better safe than sorry. Like I said, I just want to see how much I can get away with before one color starts to overwhelm another, because that was my issue before. Okay, so we'll start with that, and then the green will fill in all the spots here. Are we getting Ariel vibes? I feel like we're getting Ariel vibes now. And I'm gonna use more of the green than anything else. So I'm just gonna fill in where it's empty. Oh, the ice fell. Scared me. Alright, so that looks pretty saturated. I just see a couple white spots that I'm just trying to get. Oops. And then I will put this aside. And I think I'll let it sit for like 20 minutes, 10 minutes, we'll see. The other fabrics dyed real fast. Like I didn't have to let them sit too long, so I think that looks good. Add a little more purple to these purple spots. And I'm just gonna try my best to make sure it looks like it's blending together a little bit. So I'm gonna go over another color that it's next to a little bit, just so it kind of blends together. All right, I think that looks good. Let me just get a touch more red on this one. All right, we're gonna let this sit and we'll see what happens. There's a little bit of water down there, but it's not like overwhelming the fabric, so we're good with that. So I'm gonna put this aside. What time is it? So we'll check again at 12:15 and we'll see what happens with that one. Excuse me, miss, you gotta go sit down. You gotta go sit. Don't touch anything. All right, so we'll check in on our ice dyeing. It looks really cool so far. It looks a lot darker, but when you wash it out, most of the time the colors do come out a little bit. So I see the yellow sticking really good, so that's a good sign. Yeah, I can see the greens.
Running out, Mom.
Yes, I know. It's melting.
Very fun.
Okay. All right. So we have that one. And what time is it? 12? Oh man, time's flying. So that's basically the technique that I'm going to be using doing all of these dyes. But now you can see, like, if you're going for a specific color, go to the Rip Dye site and then pick out a color that you're looking for. And then from there, just do this and you can do the paper towel test until you get the color that you want. And, and then, yeah, usually for the most part, you get what color you're getting on the white paper towel is what you're going to get on the white fabric. Don't ask me if it's a different color fabric. I don't know about that yet. But if it's a white fabric, you'll basically get the color that you need. So let's do a 14 count. I think I can get one more in here for today. And then I think I'll go live the same time next week and we'll do some more. Let me pick a different picture. So we'll do one more color here. Pinterest. So, move down so we can pick a color scheme here. Right here. So we have, I really like this teal and red. There's like a navy and coral that looked kind of interesting. And then we have the like earthy tones. There's greens and browns. There's yellows and teals. Oh, and then there was that frozen thing. But I don't know what colors I would want to do with that yet. Or we can go Halloween and do like an eggplant purple with the orange and a gray. That might be kind of cool. Navy and coral? All right. Since you came in first, we'll do the navy and coral. Let's see. This one right here. All right. Give me a second. The navy and coral. Okay. So this is the color scheme. It's got navy, coral, and it says white. So maybe we'll do a touch of gray. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I put a light gray? Because it says white, but all the white is going to get turned into whatever color it is. So maybe a gray, but like a super, super light gray. I think we'll do that. Maybe. With the gray? Okay, cool. We're potty training. Okay, I'm going to be right back in 5 minutes. And then we will do the coral and gray, and that'll be the last one we do today. Hopefully by then the ice dye will be ready. So give me a second. I'll meet you there. Go ahead. I'll meet you there. So I will be right back. Give me 5 minutes. she'll be all right. Hopefully we can finish this last hour without too many interruptions. Like I said, she's usually doing her own thing, but today is not the day. Okay. So I'm gonna rinse these, and then we can start with the navy, the coral, and the light gray. That way the fabric has some color, so it doesn't like absorb the, I don't know if it's gonna absorb the navy or the coral if I go to rinse it out. So that's why I'm thinking maybe just to add the gray, like even if it's just a really light gray, so the fabric had already grabbed onto something. That's it. In my head, that's what I'm thinking. So we'll need I have a coral, but I don't know if it's gonna, this is the coral I have, but it looks way more orange than like a pink. So if I do the, actually it is kind of close. Let me see what red dye says. So we need a coral. Here we go, down here. Those are pinks. So let's, if anything, I think I'll add a pink to it. But that's basically it from what the picture looked like. We need the navy blue, and a gray. Gray. Here it is, pearl gray. So there's charcoal, and we're gonna try the pearl gray. So these are basically the colors. So I don't know if we'll have to mix anything. Let's see what we get with these as they are. And maybe this will be an easy one. I don't know if this water, it's not warm enough. Let me get the water I warmed up. Oh yeah, I'm glad I did that. All right, so we got a half a cup in here. Here. Oops. And half a cup here. All right, so we're gonna start with the same measurement for each. Let me see if I can rinse these. Can we reuse them? Perfect. Okay, so we're gonna start with a 4 teaspoons of each color, and we'll see how close it is to what the actual bottle says. Yeah, that looks amazing. Nice complementary colors. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, ooh, that's kind of different. I haven't seen anything like with such a dark blue. So we'll see. Okay, so there's the navy. And then we have coral. If anything, we might just have to add more to darken it up. If I have more water than is needed for the color, like I feel like that's what it's going to be with the coral. I'll need to add more of the dye. There we go. Till yours joins. Oh man. See, I want to do earlier in the day. I really do, but this is what I mean. Like, if my husband gets home at 3 in the afternoon, so like it'd be nice for him to be here to like keep an eye on her, but to wait all day and then like it's right before dinner and everything. So this is like ideal time for me. It's just that one. She's old enough though, like I said, to like do her own thing. She's very independent, but it's like mom's doing something that she shouldn't be doing. So let's go see what she's doing. All right, so here's our colors. Let's see what we have. Let me get another paper towel. All right, so here's the navy. Here's the coral. Yeah, the coral's gonna need some more pigment. And here's the gray. The gray is fine. I don't want it to be too dark, but definitely I will add the blue and more of the coral in there. But yeah, that's pretty much the colors. So if you were trying to do like this color scheme on your own, like you would only need these 3 colors, essentially. All right, so let's add another 1/4 of a teaspoon to these. Let's do this one first. I don't know, that navy blue is pretty close, but I just want it a little more vibrant. Oh yeah, perfect. See the difference? So we got navy blue. Let's do more coral. And then we should be able to add it to our fabric. And I think instead of spots on this one, I will do like more of like a line, like going across. I think I'm gonna try that technique. And we'll see what it looks like. So we have if you wanna just concentrate a color in a spot, or if you wanna spread out the color in lines. So we can see the difference. All right, let's see this one. I think we can go a touch darker. Because it is barely darker. So let's get a little more vibrant. Yeah, this looks better. Fighting in nap time. Oh, that's the worst. My girls don't take naps anymore. Although this one has been putting herself to sleep lately, but like more later in the day, unfortunately. I think we just sleep regression is the worst. The worst. All right, so these are the colors. So we got this navy, and then this is the coral. And then here's the gray. So let's try that. That looks pretty good. So I think same thing, we'll use the same size tray, and then we were gonna do, should we do a 14 count? This is the size of the 14 count. Well, I think I have one bigger 14 count. There's this big 14 count, but I don't know if that's gonna be too much. I think this one's a 20 by 24. Yeah, let's try the bigger one. Let's try the bigger one today. Takes years off your life. Oh man. I know. We essentially, Ashley! Hi Ashley, we're dyeing some fabric. I got about another 40 minutes. This is gonna be the last piece I'm dyeing, and then we're gonna start rinsing them out. So you're just in time actually for the reveals. Yeah, me and my husband originally wanted 3 kids because we said we're gonna see if we get a boy and a girl, we will we're good. But if we get 2 of like 2 boys or 2 girls, then we'll try one more time to see if we can get the one we don't have. We got 2 girls. I ain't trying for any more. I'm done. After that one, I'm done. Done. I'm getting too old for this. Too old. Can't. Can't no more. Alright, so we wet our fabric. Let's see, we'll put it, same thing, we're just gonna scrunch it up in here. No rhyme or reason, so we can see if we can get that modeling. Oh yeah, you're like just in time. I'm gonna finish dyeing this one and then we're gonna rinse the other 2 fabrics we did so far. And then we'll see what we get. So remember, we don't want it all layered. We want to get it all one layer. So we don't want the fabric like folded up or under itself too much. So like this corner is being weird. And this corner is being weird. Alright. Cool. Okay, so that's what we have. And we're gonna do a little bit at a time. So let me start with, I guess I'll put a little bit of the gray first. Or should I save that for last? You know what, I'll save it for last to fill in the gaps. That's what we'll do. So let's do the coral first because I think the navy blue is gonna overwhelm if I do that one first. It might overwhelm the fabric. Lighter to darker, that's what we're doing. Okay, so I'm gonna try and go like this across this way instead of like spots. I'm gonna go across. And we'll see what that looks like. Maybe do some zigzags. There we go. This is gonna be really pretty, hopefully. It looks pretty so far. This is a pretty color, but we'll see. It probably could have gone a little darker still. I might go back over it with more pigment in it, but we'll see. It's picking up pretty good over here, but over here is a little light. All right, so let's add some navy to our open spots here. Ooh, look at that. It kind of looks like American flag though a little bit right now. So, I guess if I were to darken it up more, I think I would have to add like black, a little bit of black. Oh no, it's darkening up to like a nice blue. Right? They look really good so far. So we'll see. Like I said, if anything, it might be a little light. But that's why we're experimenting. And like I said, if it was too light in the end, if I were to try it again, I would probably add a little black to this blue just to deepen up the blue. And for the coral, yeah, I would definitely add more of the dye to the thing to darken it, which I'll probably do right now anyways, just to really get it in there. All right, that looks pretty good. gonna really saturate these top points here. And then I'll add a little bit more of the coral just to get the top points on the coral. And then whatever white I see, I will add the gray. There we go. Just on the top points. Okay. And then the last little bits, we're gonna have some gray in there, just so that there's no white. I don't know, that doesn't look like it's doing too much. But I guess we'll see in the end. You came back. I don't see much payoff on this one either. So let me try a little bit more. Let me double check I didn't add too much. Alright, that's not too bad. Let's try it here. Oh yeah, there we go.
Did I see, Mom?
Yeah, you can see in a minute. Hold on.
Okay.
Alright, that looks pretty good. Oh yeah, this gray is definitely coming in now.
Can you see?
Hold on. You're so impatient. Ooh, that gray really brought everything out, I think. Alright. That looks pretty good. You want to see? Look. Yeah? Alright, so we're going to let this sit, and then we're going to check on... We'll do the Ariel one first, because the ice is almost there. It's not completely melted, but it's enough, I think. So let's check the Ariel one. So here's what we got with Ariel. It looks really good.
Did I see, Mom?
Huh?
Did I see, Mom?
Who is that?
Ariel.
Ariel. So yeah, this looks pretty good. So we're gonna rinse this out. And we'll see what happens when we open it up. Let me clear this out first, so when we lay it out, we're not getting extra dye on everything.
I need to help you, Mom.
Oh, I don't need help right now, babe. Thank you, though.
Mom.
Maybe later. You want to help me later?
Mm-hmm.
How about this? You want a cookie?
Uh-huh.
You want a cookie and then you go sit down and watch TV? Okay. Here. Have a cookie. All right, go sit down and watch TV. Cookies on hand all day long. All right. Go sit down. Okay, so once I rinse this out, I'm going to everything out of the way. Go get your blanket. Okay, so I have a towel that we're going to lay it out on. So I'll show you how I use it to really dry it out. Gloves, right here. Definitely need gloves now. Cookies is a great distraction. Yeah, she's gotten so big, this girl. She's a little teenager for sure. All right, so there we go. Ooh, it looks pretty cool. All right, so I'm just gonna rinse it out enough so that there's no more color running. I feel like I could have added more color in certain spots because I see a few little blank areas. But I really like this so far from what I saw. So it will definitely lighten up on you. When you rinse it out, it usually lightens up a little bit, and then once it dries, it'll lighten up. So if there's something that you dye and it's like super dark, most of the time it'll lighten a little bit. Alright, this looks pretty good. Like I said, I did less is more because I wanted to see what would happen before I got crazy with all the dark colors and like adding a lot. So if I were to try this again, I would definitely darken up these colors, I think. But it looks pretty good so far. Alright, so let's see what we have. Look at this spot. Where did this spot come from? That's what I want to know. It's like one dark spot. Look at the marbling. That was some really cool marbling that came out. Look at that. It kind of looks like a leaf. What do you guys think? Let me turn you so you can see it. Oh, now you're not going to stay, are you? Oh, it's a wire. There we go. Like I said, it's more vibrant, not on the camera. There's one side. Here's the other side. So this was the spot technique. Yeah, I really like this. Actually, I'm not upset with the color. Like how dark it is. I actually think the colors are not too bad because, I mean, you're obviously going to be stitching a project on it, right? So you don't want the color of the fabric to be too overwhelming unless you're using like full white or black or something on it. That came out really cool. I'm actually really impressed with this one. Yeah, I'm really liking all the little marbling bits because it looks like tree veins or like leaves, like veins on a leaf. All right, so we're gonna wring this out a little more. So we're just gonna roll it up in the towel just to get all that excess water off. And then I think we'll do the ice dyeing one. Or should we do the gray one? The gray one hasn't sat long enough yet, I don't think. Well, we can wait 5 minutes and then do the gray, and then we'll see the ice dyeing one. Yeah, so that rings out pretty good. Pretty cool. No, I'm happy with this one for sure. So, let me put this aside and then I'll put these outside later. Let me put this one right here for now. Okay, so we have that one. This is the ice dyeing right now. So, there's just one white spot here. Maybe if I could just soak it together, it should be okay. There's a little bit of white there and there, but everything looks pretty covered, so maybe we're okay. Because most of this is already absorbed through. There is blank spots on the bottom, so I'll give it a little bit longer, I think. It's almost there. But yeah, this one's really dark. And I'm assuming, I'm pretty sure once we go to rinse it out, it's gonna lighten up. You're gonna see all those blues and purples better. But ice dyeing is actually really fun to watch. I wonder, I don't have a hot spot to put this in. All right, so we'll give that a few more minutes. So we have our gray and coral here, and blue. I think we'll give it 5 more minutes. So we'll just hang out for 5 minutes and then we'll rinse this one out and we'll see what happens with this one. But yeah, so I'm thinking I will do it again at this time. I mean, we have a few distractions, but it's all right. I think it's okay. So I think I'll go on the same time next week on Wednesday from 11 to 1-ish. And that will be my stream schedule. So Wednesdays 11 to 1 and then Fridays from 9 to 11 for WASD, which is Whip Against the Speedrun Dungeon. So that's the game that I made up for cross stitching. So we'll do that on Fridays, and then we'll do fabric dyeing, I guess, on Wednesdays. It could change on Wednesdays. I might do like the needle minders I was saying, or some other whip or something. If I feel so inclined to be chatty, but I usually like to be doing something. I can't just like sit and chat. Oh no, don't do that. Because this is basically what I do all day, is run around with that little monster. But yeah, I have quite a few pieces of this fabric, so it's going to take me a hot minute to go through all these. So I think we'll do a couple more next week for sure. How's the family and the pups? Taco will be 18 in 2 weeks. What's today? The 15th? Yeah, Taco will be 18 in 2 weeks. He just got up right now, actually. He's okay. He's going pretty good. Ona has stones, so we're trying to save up money for that as well, is because I don't know if she's going to need surgery to get the rest of the gallstones out of her bladder. So she's doing okay, but you could tell she's a little uncomfortable. She passed a few back in May, June. So we know she has stones, and I took her to the vet for her dew claw because she bent her dew claw like this. Usually they're like this. She bent it like this. So I had to take her for that, and that's when they checked and she had more stones. But they said they have to test to see what kind of stones they are, and maybe she can change to a special diet that'll break them down. And if that doesn't work, then she'll need surgery. But we just don't have money for that right now, so we have to save up. It's just been like a really crazy couple months. Lots of like stupid expenses coming up, like little expenses. So it's life, you know. The girls are doing good though. Needle mind. Yes, I'm still experimenting. So once I get a set, like how I want them to look and how I want the magnets to be and stuff, then I'll definitely start working on those. They're pretty easy to make. They're just, like I said, I'm still working with the design, and I don't know where to put a smaller magnet for the needle because they're so thick with the cream on it that the needle doesn't get the strength from the magnets right now. So I'm thinking I can put a smaller magnet under one of the charms, and that's where the needle will stick. But like I said, it's still trial and error right now. You were talking about Taco the other day? Yeah, he's still doing good. He's walking around. He's getting stiffer. Much stiffer, but he can still kind of hear me clapping for him, and like I said, he's still walking around. He's still doing okay. So, you know, he's old, but I don't know how much longer he's gonna have. The vet was very sure we were gonna leave Texas with him in another 2 years. But yeah, if anything, he's just gotten stiffer. All right, this looks pretty good. So we're gonna go ahead and rinse this out. I'm really loving this grays in here. I'm glad I made it a little darker because you can really see them. All right, let's rinse this one out. And then we can do the last one after this. So let me pull it out first. Cool. So I'll let you guys check it out. All right. Ooh. All right, let's see what we have here. So same thing, I'm just gonna rinse it until it doesn't look like there's any color coming off, which there doesn't really look like much color anyways because I didn't saturate it. Same with the other one, I didn't get much color runoff, but I didn't saturate that one either. But we definitely want to rinse it out either way. Make sure it's all good. Okay. Get as much water as I can out of here. This is what we have. This one came out really nice too. That's strange how it looks like spots on this one. When I definitely put like, I guess you can kind of see the zigzag. That's funny. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, definitely, I don't know, I actually kind of like it now that I'm looking at it. Now that I see it all together. I was thinking maybe to put, like I said, the coral a little darker. Because right now it's like a coral pink. I feel like the gray helped. I can see it blending the two colors really nicely, even though it's not like in your face gray. Oh yeah. That's pretty good. Oh, you guys are all off crooked, sorry. There we go. It's coming out a little darker on the camera, just like slightly, but that's basically it. Yeah, that looks really good. Cool. All right, so same thing, I'm gonna bring it out. You love it? Good, I'm glad. I actually, like I said, now that I see it all together, I'm like, ooh, actually I'm really, really loving it now. So definitely, I consider it another success. So I guess that's the key. Less is more, and then don't like soak your fabric in water. Because I was trying to do that. A lot of the tutorials I saw, they were like taking a mason jar, and then they would take the fabric and bunch it down the bottom, and then they'd pour like one color to halfway, and then another color on top. And I was just getting one color. And it wasn't working, so I was like, I don't know how people get these modeling pieces. So I guess that's the key, is just don't submerge your fabric if you really want this like dramatic marbling. All right, so this one I'll go ahead and put outside next as well. Awesome. And then let's check out the ice bag. I think it's good to go now because these ice cubes are like super tiny, so it's not going to get any more color than there already is on there. Yeah, I think it looks good. So let's go ahead and rinse this out. Okay, so let's start with this guy first. It's like super cold. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Move this guy out of the way. Move this guy. I don't want to dump this on the fabric, so I'll put it there for a second. All right. You have to go potty? All right, give me 2 seconds. Or you can try and go. What? It looks beautiful. You like it? Thank you. Well, this one definitely has a lot more color runoff compared to the other ones. All right, hold on. Hold on. Yeah, this one's got a lot more color runoff. For sure. You have a good idea? Okay. You want a peanut butter jelly? There's one right there for you. Ooh. Huh? One for Sissy. I can make her another one later. Almost there, almost there. There's a lot of blue coming off. The blue makes me nervous because I'm afraid it's going to like stain all the other colors on it, but it doesn't, surprisingly. I see the purple really popping out really good. I think ice dyeing is a little harder to like pinpoint where you want your colors to go. So I think if you just have a general like, okay, I want these colors on the fabric, I think that's the best way to go because so far, like if I tried to put a certain color in a certain spot, it doesn't work out. Like it's always somewhere else. So I think it's just a matter of like, okay, I want these colors and I want something really dramatic because ice dyeing is more dramatic, I've found, than doing the water submersion. Almost there. Definitely a lot more pigment. But like I said, the ice dyeing, you want to use the box dyes. I know some people have tried it with the liquid dyes. I want to say I tried that with the Medusa fabric, but I didn't get the same amount of like crazy modeling on it. It was more subtle. So I feel like that's more of an effort to do the ice dyeing when you can get the same look with the water submersion. Submerging. All right, I think we're good. It's like barely a little bit of color coming out. A lot of the color did come out, but it looks really good. Like it was enough. All right, I think we're good. I don't see too much coming off now. All right, we'll wring it out. All right, you guys ready? I might have to rinse this one out a little more, but we'll see. It's like last bits of color coming out. Let me toss this so we're out of the way. All right, let's see what we got. Yeah, see how much more dramatic it is? That is almost what I wanted. That's pretty close. I was late to the video, so I missed the process and colors, but they are looking great. That's okay, no problem. I'm gonna end up uploading this on my YouTube, so you can always go back to the video later and see it from the beginning. But we did a couple different, there we go. We did a couple different, not types, but kind of like types, different techniques. So you can go back and see what I did for the 3. I'll show all 3 right now, since they're all done. But yeah, look how great this came out. I'm really loving it. This is my favorite so far. But I love all the like vibrant, like rainbowy kind of colors. Oh wow, that's so cool. It's super cool. Yeah, the ice dyeing is fun. But like I said, go into it knowing that you're not gonna get like color in the certain, I mean, unless you put one color on one side and one color on the other, or like 4 corners or something, it's not gonna go where you want it. Cause see, we put everything in the middle and I put blue on the outside and it all kind of merged out. But it looks like a flower garden almost. That came out really cool. So yeah, definitely less was more with this one. It's got the right amount of splotches I needed. Or wanted, I should say. Thank you. No problem. What pattern are you using this rainbow one for? I am gonna, all of these fabrics that I'm dyeing, I will probably be putting, most likely since they all came out good, they're gonna go in my Etsy store, which I plan to open in another couple weeks once I get enough. Are you okay? Oh, you're trying to put it in your pocket? Hold on, okay? Once I get enough stuff to like put in the store, then I will open up. So it might be another couple weeks, but these fabrics will be in there. This one is a 14 count. I don't know, it looks much smaller now. Or was it an 18 count? Did I grab something else? I'm gonna have to double check. Hold on, babe, hold on. You want me to put it in your pocket? There you go. Yeah, so eventually these I'll have them in my Etsy shop. But I'll be dyeing them here on stream, so you can see like what colors, or you can help decide what colors I'm thinking and stuff like that. So if it's something you're trying to find, like I know sometimes I had trouble looking for certain colors that I want. I know, babe. Go upstairs. I'll be right there. Like I was looking for a really nice green for my Halloween Quaker, and I finally found that one, but for a while there I couldn't decide on a green I wanted. So if there's maybe something that, like a specific color you're looking for, then I can try and dye it, and then that way if it comes out right, then I can throw it up in the Etsy store and whoever wants it can snag it if it didn't turn out, and then if it did, then you have your perfect piece of fabric. So I think that's what I'm gonna do on the second day of my streams, because I have to stream like 7 days a week or something like that, or not a week, but 7 days a month. There you go. So I have my cross stitch game on Fridays, so I think I'll do the fabric dyeing on Wednesdays. So yeah, this came out super great. So I'm gonna go put these outside to dry. I might iron them first, I don't know. But I'll put them outside to dry, and then once they're all dry, I'll take the pictures and put them up on my social media so you can see like the finished, the dry color, because they will lighten up a little bit more than they're showing. So they will lighten up just a touch. But this is the ice dye. So I'll put that one there. Then I have the navy and the coral with the light gray. And then we have Ariel with the purple, the red, and the green. So I think it was a success. Where do we find more info on this Game Friday? I have it. I'm going to put it one more time for one more week. I'm going to post it on my social medias when it's happening. But on my Twitch, if you go to like my schedule, it's on there. But it's every Friday from 9 to 11 Central Standard Time. And basically I made up a cross stitch game, so it's just for fun. And it's got like monsters, and I'm doing stuff against the timer, and I'm making a really ugly cross stitch. So so it's just for fun, but yeah, it's about 2 hours. And I will also, once I get affiliated and stuff, I plan to have more like things that you can do to like interact with the game to make it like harder for me or easier for me. So we had a really fun time last Friday. I have to tweak a few things in the game because it was the first run of it, and so hopefully this Friday I got some more of the kinks out, and it'll run more smoothly, and I have better dynamics going on. So yeah, so I think that's what I'm going to be doing on here for Twitch. Yeah, Friday nights will be my WASD for whip against the speedrun dungeon. That's what I'm calling it. And then Wednesdays I will come on and do a couple pieces to fabric dye. So I think yeah, like I said, I plan to open that Etsy shop in a couple weeks. Definitely after next week's fabric dyeing session, so that way at least I have 6 pieces of fabric up there, and I have a little more time to do some more project bags. And then the needle minders might take a little more time before I put those up, but at least, you know, I'll have something started up there. Thank you. I hope it's fun. I like to do, I mean, I'm always doing different stuff. So as much as I'd love to sit and do like a stitch with me or a whip and chat, like I'm just not that type of person to like sit and talk about myself for like 2 hours. So I figure this would just be more interesting because I like to like teach, and not teach, but I like crafting, and I like to show like how it's done, because a lot of times with crafting people kind of do it their own way and it works, but then you don't know what they did. So I'm hoping this is like a great way to like show what I'm doing. So in case you were like, oh, like I'm trying to dye this piece of fabric and I keep getting one color. How do I get that great modeling that like Picture This Plus has, or, you know, all those great fabric dyeing places? Because I mean, it's great. I love their fabrics and all those fabrics you can buy, but it's a little expensive. And sometimes it's just easier to like buy a bottle of dye and buy, you know, a $6 piece of fabric of white Aida or something, and just be like, boom, 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 good to go. Yeah, I love demos. I love demos. So yeah, so this is gonna be the norm, I think. What time is it? 1 o'clock? Perfect. We made it just on time. So I'm gonna put this on my schedule as well on my Twitch. So every week I will go on at this time, because this seems to be a good time. And I think Wednesdays are pretty popular as far as the crafting section goes. So Wednesdays and Fridays will be my Twitch streaming day. But I will post all of it for one more week on my social media, and then otherwise you can just find my schedule on the schedule tab here on Twitch. But yeah, I will, like I said, I'm gonna put these outside in the sun because we're in Texas, so it's hot as hell outside. So these are gonna take like 10 minutes to dry. But I'll dry them, I'll iron them. What happened to it? Give me 5 more minutes, okay? I'm almost done. I'm almost done. I promise. You want more fruit snacks? Okay. So yeah, so I'll... No? Do you want cheese? Oh, that's all I have. Sorry. So I will let them dry and iron them, and then I will take pictures and I'll put them up on my social media so you can at least see them dry. Go ahead, you can eat it. Go ahead, I made it for you. So at least you can see them dry, and then, like I said, once... I'll be right there. I'm almost done. 5 more minutes. I don't know. 5 more minutes. Yeah, that's the only issue is going live on Wednesdays during the days. That. But, what was I saying? Yeah, and then these pieces will be saved, and then I will be announcing when my Etsy shop will be ready to open. So you guys will know on all the social medias when my Etsy shop will be about to open up. You're back. You're checking in. You missed all the reveals. Look what we got today. This was the first one. The red. Hold on, I'll be right there. Go take this upstairs. The red, the purple, and the green. And then this was a navy coral and light gray. There's the back. And then this was the ice dyeing we did. The first one we did. I do love them all too. I'm really happy with them. If I didn't want to start a million different stitches, I would probably not sell these. I would keep them all, but I just can't have that many projects going. So I'm going to eliminate the temptation and I'm going to sell them. So yeah, so it looks like we got a lot of blues and purples this time. So maybe we'll switch up the color tones and do maybe something Halloween next time for sure. Something Halloween, maybe something Christmassy since Christmas is coming up. And then, I don't know, maybe we'll do another ice dye and we'll do maybe 3 colors instead of like 5. Greens, yeah, I'm thinking more greens. I like that green, brown, earthy tone picture that I had. So I'll pick one out of there and I'll see what we need. So definitely a Halloween, a green one, and a Christmassy one. So we'll do that next Wednesday. I love the second one, but all of them are awesome. You like this one? This one came out really cool too. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure with how dark it was, but they actually came out pretty good. But all right, you guys, I got like an hour before I gotta go pick up the other one. So I'm gonna clean up because I have a giant mess. But you like the fuchsia and green one too? Fuchsia and green. This one, the Little Mermaid one. This one had the red, the purple, and the green in it. So yeah, so I will, I guess, see you guys next week on Wednesday from, what time did I start? 11. From 11 to 1. But I'm glad you guys enjoyed. Go ahead and, like I said, you can follow if you haven't followed. I know there's notifications with like email, so you can get notified. But I'll have my schedule on my Twitch here. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I just wasn't sure like time frame, but this seems like a good time. So I'll continue to do it at this time. But all right, I'm gonna clean up now. I'm procrastinating. If you need all my social media links, I believe they're in my Twitch too, under all the about. It's in the about. I have all my other social media links in case you're looking for me on Instagram, on YouTube, where I have my videos. So if you miss a Twitch stream, I wait 24 hours and then I post it on YouTube because of Twitch rules or whatever. So if you missed the beginning or something, it'll be up in a day or so on my YouTube. And what else am I on? On Facebook. Facebook as well. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good day. I'll see you guys. No, I won't see you next Wednesday. I'll see you on Friday. On Friday from 9 to 11. All right. Hold on, let me make sure I'm doing this correctly. Where's my little buttons? This is a different setup, so I have to figure out what I'm doing here. Here's my screen. All right. Perfect. Okay,